Well, hello there, mighty mini truckers, and welcome to the channel.
Samson, the mighty sandbar.
That's right, Samson and I are back. We're back here in the garage. And that can mean a few things. That could be either we're getting ready to do some maintenance, repairs, or in this case, upgrades. That's right, we're going to be making an upgrade to Samson today. And if you're a first-time viewer, hey, welcome to the channel. And if you're one of our regulars or one of our subscribers, hey, a big thumbs up to all you people. And if you like this video or any of our other videos, hey, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of our up and coming content or any new videos, hey, ring that notification bell. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That helps us reach more viewers like you. Folks, what we're doing today is we're going to be upgrading Samson's 7-inch headlights. Yeah, as far as I can tell, they look like they're probably the original OEM factory headlights that came with out of the factory. They are very lackluster. You know, they're halogen lights and they're just very dim. They throw out that kind of orange-yellow hue. And then on top of that, they're pretty much focused straight out front. They don't really have any broadcast out in front of you. So with these old eyes, these old peepers of mine, that's not going to cut it. In a previous video, I mentioned that I would probably replace Samson's headlights with some LED headlights. And I've since changed my mind, and I'll tell you why. Bruiser, our 1993 Toyota Land Cruiser, came already equipped with LED headlight bulbs installed. And when I drive him late at night or really early in the morning when it's dark and I've got my lights on, I couldn't, especially on a 2-lane road, I couldn't tell you how many times people will flash their high beams at me thinking that I have my high beams on. Now, of course, I'm sitting up, I'm elevated a little bit higher than them. A lot of times they're in cars. And, you know, I've got that hood out front to reflect some of that light, but it still is kind of bothersome. But if you have a truck, especially a lifted truck, and somebody does that, man, it just irritates the mess out of me. It about blinds me. Our little trucks are pretty low to the ground and they don't have any hood out in front or anything to deflect some of that light. I've decided to go back to a halogen headlight, but I've gone back to one that's more bright and white and will broadcast that light hopefully a little bit further out. Halogen headlights I've chosen to replace Samson's headlights with are these Sylvania H6024 Silverstars, low beam, high performance, bright white, sealed beam headlight. Now the nice thing about these headlights is you can pick them up usually at any auto parts store. I bought these particular ones off of Amazon just because they were a little bit cheaper. I think they were about $24 a piece. What I'll do is I'll put a link down below in the comments section, so if you're interested in these, you can pick them up. Well, now it's time to install these suckers. Let's go ahead and get in, or get out of these nice clothes and get in some work clothes and get these suckers installed. So grab that favorite beverage, sit back and relax, buckle up, and let's go. Okay, now that we've got Samson inside the garage, let's go ahead and remove the headlight and install the new headlight. But before we begin, basically all you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver, and there's only one screw down here to remove, and it's this one. You've got 3 points right here where you've got grommets and post that actually push in and seat that in there. So when you start to remove this, you need to be a little bit careful. You don't need to put a lot of pressure on it. Just pull it off. You know, just work away around the edges after you get the screw out and pop that off. But be very careful because that stuff is plastic in there, and after 30 years or so of deteriorating, you can break that off pretty easily. In fact, I've already done one that way, so I've got to figure a way to get that fixed. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with removing the headlight. Okay, let's start removing this screw. Now, I've already loosened this one up a little bit. Just take your time with it. Yeah, you could use one of these if you wanted to, but for this, I'm just going to use a regular old handheld Phillips head screwdriver. We'll back that out. Okay. Now, like I said, be a little bit careful about how you remove this. Like I said, this one up here is already broken on me, so we need to be careful. Okay. Whoop. About lost a screw, but anyway. Okay, now remember you've got your wires here for your marker. Just kind of let that hang out down to the side. I don't know if you can see it, but here are those plastic pieces here that are mounted to the trim work. And there's an actual grommet that goes right in there. That one actually broke on me. The other two are still in pretty good shape. Just be careful when you put that in. Don't bang them. Otherwise, you'll push them right on through. Okay, next we've got this metal trim right here, okay? And that's what's actually holding the bulb in. All you have to do is there's 3 screws here. One over here, sorry. 3 screws. And all you're going to do is just loosen them up. You don't need to pull them out, okay? Because what will happen is we'll just rotate that around and it should pop right off. Okay. Now remember, these 3 points are also where you adjust your headlight. So this was a little bit tight on there, and trying to get that off was kind of a bear, but we'll have to readjust that once I get the new one in. Okay. But just look on the back here. You've got your plug. Okay. It's a 3-point plug in your socket. All you do is wiggle that off. Might be a little bit tight just because it's been on there for so long. Yeah, I don't think this one's ever been removed before. In fact, yep, it's never been removed before. Okay. Now, on the back side of that trim piece, you've got another 3 screws. And of course, they're Phillips head, but that's what's holding that light in there, okay? So just take your time and remove those. Yep, they've definitely not been pulled out before. Okay, now that we got the 3 little clamps off, you can remove the old headlight out of that trim. Let's go ahead and grab the new headlight. Okay, and there we've got the new one. And of course, it comes with one of those protective caps back into your plug. Now, make sure that your headlight is facing forward. Make sure the name of the bulb is facing towards you and is in the right position. And your plugs, you need You can see it here, but they need to be these two on this side and the one on top, okay? Now, when you put the trim piece on, there's going to be a little area back here on the back of the bulb, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but up top here, you've got like a little bent area in that actually fits on the bulb in that position. So that way you know you've got your trim piece on correctly. And you just want to slide that over that and then drop it in, okay? As it fits, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that fits right in that notch there, okay? Now we need to put the clamps back on. It's going to be a little bit finicky. Like I said, those clamps are what actually hold the bulb in place. Okay, should have it right there. Okay. All right. There you go. Now you got that your trim back on. Okay. Make sure everything's positioned right. All right. Next, what you want to do is go ahead and put the plug on. Make sure, there we go. We got it on there about as best as we're going to be able to get it on there. Okay, we just need to slide that back over. Position those screws. Okay. Oh, there we go. Just kind of push that in. Come on, rotate. There we go. Okay, now let's snap back in. Okay. But before we go ahead and get everything tightened back up and get this headlight positioned better and put the trim back on, let's go ahead and check and make sure that that headlight is working, okay? Hey, as you can see, the headlight's working and the marker light is working, so you know everything's still connected up. So we'll go ahead and turn Samson off and go ahead and get that mounted up. But before I do that, let's take a look at these lights. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there is quite a difference between the new light bulb, or the new headlight, and the old one. That new one is definitely a lot brighter. Let me move this over here. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is a lot dimmer, and it's got that orange, yellowish tint to it. So it's not throwing quite a beam. If you look over here on the garage door, if you look on the right-hand side there, that's the old bulb. On the left side is your new one. And look how spread out that beam is. It goes out a lot farther. It's a lot brighter. So I'm quite pleased. All right, let's go ahead and finish up the job. All you need to do now is just do it in reverse and do both sides, and we'll be finished up here in a few minutes. Okay, folks, now that we've got both of the new headlamps installed, let's go ahead and take a look at the difference. Let's get outside in the dark and turn these headlights on and just show you what kind of pattern it throws and how much brighter it is. Now, are these headlamps as bright as LED headlamps? No, they're not. But with LEDs, remember, these vehicles are reverse polarity. So in order for LEDs to work, you have to put relay switches in. So that takes a little bit more modification. Not hard to do. Many people do it. But I'm telling you, for what I'm getting out of this, for the money and for the ease of install, it was a pretty easy thing to do. And like it took me basically about 10 minutes per side, so 20 minutes total, where it'd take you probably about an hour to an hour and a half to do it the other way. But anyway, yes, they're not as bright as LED, but hey, I'm not going to complain because they are way better than the original headlamps that were in Samson. Now, another option that I looked at besides going with the Sylvanias was another product made by Hella. Those are actually a conversion headlamp. What you get is you get basically the glass headlamp. It's got a hole in the back, and you can take an H4 bulb, and it actually fits in the back. You twist it in so it holds it in place, but then there's a rubber housing that goes over that. So you keep the original basic look of the headlight, but you get a little bit brighter of a, or you have the option of switching out more of your bulbs. In fact, you can go with an LED with those. They do make an LED that will fit that plug. The only thing, like I said, is you'll have to switch out, or you'll have to install the relay switches in order for those LEDs to work. But that's another option. In fact, see how these work. I'll see how they work for me, and if they work pretty well, I'll probably leave them alone. But if I feel like I might need a little bit more brightness, I may switch out from these and go to the Hellas, and I'll show you how those install. But for now, I'm going to try these out. We'll give them at least a year and see what's going on with them. Well, folks, that ends our video for today. Like we always say here on the channel, get outside, enjoy the great outdoors, take a child fishing or camping, and happy trails. Ciao.